My uncle took me in after my parents died. I was never supposed to leave. Part 1. When my parents died in a highway accident, no one in my family wanted me. No grandparents, no cousins, no distant relatives offering condolences or help. Except my uncle. He lived alone in our ancestral house on the edge of a small town in Madhya Pradesh. Everyone avoided the place after sunset. Tall iron gates, neem and banyan trees pressing too close to the walls. Rooms that smelled like dust, mildew, and old paper. When he saw me, he smiled. Too wide, too relieved. That should have been my first warning. On my very first night, he asked my age 3 separate times, then my exact birth date, then the time I was born. He wrote everything down carefully in a thick leather diary and locked it in his desk. I told myself he was just lonely. The house had rules. The basement stayed locked. The west wing was never opened, and I was never allowed outside after sunset. The caretaker auntie watched me constantly. One afternoon, while fixing a tear in my kurta, she whispered something strange. She said 2 children had lived in the house before me, both orphans, both around my age, both gone. Then she laughed nervously and said, "Children run away all the time." That night, I dreamed I was drowning. Water filled a dark room, rising from my ankles to my chest. 2 figures stood across from me, a boy and a girl. Their clothes clung to them like they'd been pulled from a river. The boy raised his hand. There was a hole in his chest, burned black around the edges. I could see straight through him. I woke up choking. The next morning, deep scratches covered my bedroom door. Long, vertical marks, shoulder height, too neat to be animals. When I showed the caretaker, she crossed herself and whispered for me to lock my door every night. She begged me not to tell my uncle. After that, the house felt alive. Footsteps echoed through empty hallways. Soft crying came from the study. Something moved beneath the floors at night. And my uncle started watching me. On the evening of my birthday, he smiled and told me to come to his study at 11. He said he had something important to show me. Outside, the wind howled like the house was screaming. At 10:45, I heard voices outside my window. I looked out. The boy and the girl stood beneath the neem tree. This time they weren't crying. They were waiting.